Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to my garage. We've done a couple really cool installs lately. We did the front motorized lifts, and we've got the trunk ones here in my garage ready to install as well. But today we're doing something else, kind of technical like that, and I'm kind of excited to see how this works. Now, what we have today is this. We have a new mount from Techform. Matt sent it out to me, and you've seen this thing all over YouTube. You've seen the Frugal Tesla guy, Dirty Tesla, A1. There's a lot of guys out there that have put this already in their car that Matt has sent them to, so he just sent this to me, and I'm nervous to take off my screen and do all this, but we're gonna do it today. I'm not gonna do this as an install video because there's a lot of those out there. Instead, let's just kind of watch me put this in my car real quick. We'll check it out and just see how we like it. What I really wanna know from you guys, because there are a couple concerns that I have, is how does it look in the cameras? Stuff like that. You're still able to see it. I'm gonna be kind of curious to see how that all works, but they seem to really like it, so let's get out there and put it in my car. So now first, here's what comes inside the box. You get this instruction sheet here, which basically just tells you to go to this YouTube link to watch the video and how to do that, which is why I'm not gonna make this step-by-step how-to video. It already exists, and you don't really need more of those out there. Okay, they give you the two pieces that you're really gonna be using, which is kind of nice because, with me, the more you give me, the more I can screw up. It's really actually nice how he packages it. He's got all these, everything kind of in one spot here. And then you have this optional, deal to wrap around it when it's all done, because we won't be using the same plastics that were taken off. So I'll just mention really quick before we get in the car that if you do like this, you can actually go to Matt's channel and order this for yourself. I know he sells these. I don't know any of the details on that right now, but just so you know, if you do like this, you can do this yourself. So the tools needed to do this are really not that many. You just need a number 20 Torx driver, a number 30 Torx driver, a 3/16 Allen wrench, which is actually included, a flathead screwdriver for prying off the plastic. You need a 13 millimeter or half-inch socket, which is right there, and then you need a ratchet wrench with extension, obviously over there. And they recommend that whatever you're using with these drivers here, that you want it to be magnetic so that the bolts don't fall down into the back of the screen, which we'll go over in a bit. Now, just to clarify, because I know a lot of you are like, wow, Cody, looks like you got the socket thing right this time. I was reading it off my phone from Matt's YouTube channel, so I really can't take credit for that. I would have probably called it something else again. Okay, so step one is to put it into screen clean mode. I'm not sure exactly why, but we did it. The next step is to remove this cover, and there's a panel right here where you put the little screwdriver in here, and apparently this destroys it a little bit, so hopefully I don't make too much damage. Yeah, I'm already totally hurting it, but it's got to be done. Now Matt did warn about this, so I'm pushing up and pulling down. He said, don't worry, it's supposed to be hard to get down, and yeah, it lives up to its name here. Whew. So now here's the thing with this. This piece is not going to be going back on, so I really don't care too much about the damage that came on this piece right here, as well as underneath here. I'm assuming I'm gonna like this, in which case none of this is gonna matter, so it's gonna go sit in my garage. The only time that this is going to matter anymore is if I'm going to be taking this and putting it back on for some reason in the future, so don't really care. So next I'm gonna remove the cabin temperature sensor here. So you can see on this I didn't really hurt it, really any damage on this too bad. You can see underneath there a little bit where I got a little carried away, but then again, that's pretty good for me. I'm pretty proud of myself. So in case you care, that's what it looks like underneath there. And you can again see the damage I did to that little plastic piece, which we're going to be removing. All right, so the next thing is we're going to take a 10 millimeter and we're going to release, just loosen up these two bolts down here that we looked at earlier. So they're both the exact same size, came up pretty easily, not many threads on them. And after I got them basically loose, I just took this off and finished it the rest of the way, as is recommended by Matt. Okay, so now the next part is a little nervous about. So just by taking off those two little bolts, nuts, screws, I now can take this thing apparently off, but it's still going to have the wire harness attached to it. So you're supposed to be able to just kind of take it. Oh yeah, it's loose. Wiggle it off. One side wants to come, the other side putting up a bit of a fight. Not sure why. There we go. And I put the towel down here. Just lay this down flat. Look at that. Next, I'm going to actually take off this temperature thermostat thingy, card air temperature. He told me to do that earlier, but I forgot. So my next chore is I need to get this piece off so I can get to the piece that holds this. So this is where the one of the Torx drivers is gonna be, coming out. By the way, that's just the star, in case you're wondering what that is. And again, I only know that because they just said it on the YouTube video. So I'm going to now get this out of the way. I'm gonna take this piece off. Wow, that was like so loose. And this is where they also say to use a magnetic screwdriver deal. The concern though is just that right here where it's going down, it's actually a hole right into the computer, and if these can get in there, they could actually short it out potentially, so don't want to do that. So I'm just going to put these in the box. I'm going to take off this little plastic piece that is around it that holds it in place. Again, instructions on how to do all this is in Matt's video, so if you're trying to learn how to install this, go there. This is more about watching me flub through it for entertainment value. And then we have the main piece here, the main connection, and this is the one that scares me. This is what everyone talks about. There's a little tab in there. Apparently you just pinch it and sort of twist in circles to get it off. There's nothing easy about that. Okay, we're gonna try it Matt's way. He sets it up like this on the towel on its side, and then he pinches here and does the spin and pull thing. All I'm accomplishing is getting blisters. Okay, so here's the deal. I just about ruined my thumb. I'm sweating. I thought of so many bad things to say to get this thing off. It would not come. So I went and I taped up a pair of needle nose pliers, put it straight over the top. It fits right in the slot just perfectly, and it came out instantly and easily. So if you don't have magical fingers like apparently everyone else has, use these. Just don't short anything out. Be very careful. All right, so next I'm going to take this piece off here, and I'll just show you real quick. You can see the damage right there on there. I don't know if you guys can see that really well, but from when I put the screwdriver in there to pry the door off of here. So again, everyone I've seen on YouTube like this, and they keep it on. They really like it. Frugal Tesla guy said he loves it. So I'm hoping that this never has to be put back on. But if I ever sell the car or something and the new buyers don't want the screen on there like that, then maybe I have to put this back on. But it's tucked in underneath like that. You're never going to really see it anyway. So anyway. So one difference that I'll mention in Matt's video, his car is a year and a half, or I think almost 2 years older than mine, and they've done it a little differently now. So in here, they have screws to take this piece off that you saw me just unclip earlier. So in the newer models, mine's 2019, you just unclip it, pull it off. In his video, if you have an older model, use the you just unscrew the two screws and the cover comes off. And again, this is what holds the temperature sensor. All right, so the first thing we're going to install here then is this piece that's going to go directly into here. And so it looks like this. This is how it's going to actually go in, and just insert it straight in here. It's a lot more snug than it makes it look in the video. So these even have a little bit of flex on them, so that you should have lots of ability to do that. I think what the problem is that when they put these pieces on here, it kind of comes down a little bit, and I can see it on here scratching on it. So I think it's just I think I should have pushed harder. All right, so I had to just put a little bit more pressure on it, but I did get it in there finally. So I'm just going to put in these screws here, just finish tightening these up, and these weren't really tight when I took them off, so I'm just going to kind of tighten them up about the same. Okay, full disclosure, because I don't like hiding anything from you guys. When I was trying to put this thing in there, there was no going in. I mean, I was yelling at it, I was calling it all kinds of names, it still wouldn't go in. So what I did is, one got a hammer, and I only paid $63,000 for this car. I mean, why not just hit it with a hammer, right? Put this on the end of it right here and just went back and forth like this and tapped it in until the screws lined up, and that worked just fine. So a little scary, but I got it in. Next, I'm going to install the piece that mounts from the screen that will eventually connect right here. And if anyone's out there trying to install this themselves, it looks like this on the screen. Okay, so you're holding it. This piece is offset to the left, straight onto the piece like this. It's going to hold right there. So come around with this around the back side. Put that in there first. So now there is a little bit of play in here, and this basically, if it's all the way up, that's like further away from your car. If it's all the way down, that's like closest to your dash as possible. So I'm going to tighten it up like that with it all the way, and this is where you're going to use that 13mm socket. All right, now on this next part, I've been warned that it's very finicky, and you got to get the bolts from here into this without being able to really have much room to move. And so we're going to give this a shot. Let's hope that I don't end up wanting to slap innocent people. So I'm finding if I just scoot way up here and lean over, I can look directly down on the hole. You can see here. Now I'm going to put this other one in here. This one's going to control the, looks like I got it. Woohoo! So the trick here was just getting the screen to be level with the screws, which you can't really tell. So keeping these loose a little bit, you can see that the screen can move like this or can be back here like this. So like right now, here's what it looks like from my perspective. Used to be like that and a little bit higher, which is normal and cool. I mean, you can see more of the dash, I mean, for sure. Before you couldn't see the rim right here, but now you can see it, or at least I can, 6'1". But watch this now. This thing moves. It's interesting. You think it's just like on a hinge, but it's not. It's actually like I don't know, like it goes around it. So you have to kind of like push here and pull here and kind of work it over. And then now it's pointing more directly at me. That is going to be so cool. Anyway, let's get this tightened up and we'll get on the road. So my last step here is going to be just to attach the temperature sensor to this shroud piece here. You can see it's pretty simple. It goes right on there like that. I'm going to connect it back on here, and then I'm going to mount this back up under here. Just kind of doing this by braille here. Just a little Velcro. How hard could it be, right? Tuck it all in. Now you can, he does show it not putting this on, but I'm just going to do it because I think that it hides it pretty nice, all those components. Okay, so here's the big question is, was this hard to do? You know, and the answer is no, it was not hard to do. It just took guts to do it. I mean, you're literally taking off this screen. If you're like me and probably did a lot of things wrong, even, you know, Matt had a video, I had forced the base of the mount into the car. That was nerve-wracking, you know. So again, someone who knows more about this kind of stuff would probably have much more less damaging ways to do all this. Cue comments. But the fact is, you know, a guy like me who, you know, didn't even change his own oil, he's not mechanically minded at all. I don't know how to build computers. I don't know how to build cars, nothing. You could do this. It's really no big deal. A little bit of patience. It's can be done. So let's go see how well I like it. I'm going to put away the mass of tools I have, and then we're going to get out in the car. So I've been driving around now for about 10 minutes, and there's definitely some getting used to in a good way, I think. A couple things I wanted to look at here was, one, how does it leave me clearance for my leg? Because it is down quite a bit. Like, I think when everyone did all their measurements, and I think Matt said it's about 1.5 inches lower than it was before. I think for what Tesla guy in his video said it was like an inch. I don't know what it really is, but it's definitely lower. It's noticeably lower. It's not at all up here in your view. But my knee still has 2 inches of clearance, or 1.5 inches of clearance. You know, I'm a pretty tall guy, so that's not a problem. And of course, if it was a problem, you could always, you know, reverse this. But in terms of it like being lower, that's good. One other thing is too, I noticed, is that if you do keep your phone down here, you don't have as much view of your phone as you used to. before because the screen is so much lower than it was. So that is something to consider as well if you use, look at your phone. I try not to look at my phone while I'm driving, but either way, as you guys can see, I have mine on a mount that I have in my cup holder right now anyway. I did make a video on that. If you guys ever want to see what that is, let me know what mount I actually use. But as far as how this all works, I mean, it's very easy to see. It's not like it's lower and harder to reach to. That all feels the same. It just it's amazing how much different it actually feels. Like it just kind of tilted it towards me like that. And what it is like now, it feels like the screen was made for me as the driver, and it's there just to display to me. It doesn't feel like it's built for the whole car. So before it just was flush. Now it's not. It's very tilted to me, and it's tilted back a little bit too. So you're looking like down onto it versus like at it, which is a different feel as well, which takes a little bit of getting used to. But again, it's not a bad thing. It's just different. And so I'm going to use it for, a while here. And if I like it, I'll keep it on. If I don't, I'll take it off. But as of right now, I think I'm going to really, really like it. I can see why everyone else likes it. So I'll report back to you guys on it later. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that because that was kind of interesting. I got another big install coming up soon. We're going to do the motorized trunk lifts. So that's going to be a nightmare. But hang around for that. So anyway, guys, if you want information on getting a kit like this for your model of your Model 3, I'll check with Matt and see what that process is, but just leave me a note in the comments if you want that, and then if that's the case, I'll look into how you can get it. But this has been my experience so far, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks again for watching another one of my videos. If you haven't already, please take a second and like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more and more content. So here's what you can expect. Every week my goal is to put out 3 videos. The next one in the tutorial series, an autopilot driving challenge video, as well as a product review. So now I just want to thank my patrons. Your support means the world to me. Thank you for believing in me and supporting this channel. And if you're looking for some accessories for your Model 3 or your Model Y, just go down below in the description. I've got codes to all kinds of products down there to save you a bunch of money while you're tricking out your car. Thanks again. See you soon.